I'm Malcolm Nance. This is Black Man Spy. Welcome to the Black Man Spy United States-Iran War Day 41 update, which we will be resetting to the United States-Iran ceasefire Day 1 for however long that lasts. I'm Malcolm Nance. I'm not coming to you right away because showing you the state of the war as it stood on the 41st day of combat. And as you can see, a solution has been found to this war. So we will get into it this morning. First, let me introduce my co-host, Jacob Kaarsbo, Danish intelligence officer, Middle East officer extraordinaire, who is on a ferry, so he can't shout very loud. He has to talk quite quietly.
No
Good morning,
shouting.
Jacob.
I've shout face today.
And on the other hand, we have Wajeeh, the gay lion, Saudi Arabia, and Gulf States geopolitical analyst and expert who will be giving us our expertise related to the geopolitics of what just happened to the world. Well, as you can see, why look at my shining mug when you can take a view that was put out by the Iranians trolling the United States, that Easter announcement by Donald Trump led to essentially him, bending over for the Easter Bunny. And the Easter Bunny in this circumstance is the nation of Iran. For those of you who have not heard, the United States has agreed to a ceasefire that was negotiated by the country of Pakistan. By the way, those are the people, the Prime Minister of Pakistan was the one promising Trump the 8, no, 10 oil tankers full of money, and coming to a ceasefire agreement with Iran that has stopped the war for the next 2 weeks. We will have to see how that goes, but that is the circumstance that we find ourselves in. Good morning, I'm Malcolm Nance. Welcome to Black Man Spies special coverage of the end of the war or the beginning of the ceasefire or a pause in the middle of it, because there are already circumstances that have hit the street that may impact this dramatically. So Terry Wonder wants to know if that bunny is practicing safe sex and using lubricant. But we shall find out. So, good morning, everyone. I am glad that you're all here.
Extraordinary.
I completely forgot about our category of spectacular penetrations. But speaking of which, we will be discussing in detail the 10-point agreement that is now the basis for all negotiations between the United States and Iran. So, spectacular penetrations indeed are yet to come. So we will see about that. I just want to point something out to you. I have my analysis board where I go over all the significant activities of the previous day. I left this blank today because, in theory, combat operations have ended, but I do know what has happened in the meantime. So, guys, from what I understand, at the last minute, I was on air with Mario Naufel. We were discussing this when the news broke from one of his sources, a Pakistani source, obviously, that a ceasefire had been reached, that it started like this. The United States wrote a statement that a ceasefire had been reached, emailed that statement to the Prime Minister of Pakistan. The Prime Minister of Pakistan put it out on the internet with the words, "This is a draft for the Prime Minister of Pakistan." They edited it down to what they wanted to say. And then the Prime Minister of Pakistan made a statement that was clearly written by Donald Trump and the Trump administration, that Donald Trump had accepted the ceasefire.
Not the other
That
way
Donald
around.
Trump had accepted the ceasefire. No. That's what he said. The original tweet, can you find it on air? The original statement was Trump had agreed to a ceasefire
Let me see if I could find it.
for a period at the request of the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Now, I made a joke this morning that welcome to the off-ramp trademark, with a trademark symbol on it, because this is the off-ramp everyone had been saying all along, that Trump was looking for a reason to end this war, and that the off-ramp could not come at his expense. It had to be at the expense of someone else. And don't forget, remember, these nice gentlemen who were very serious, who have the interest of Iran at heart, who promised him eight oil tankers full of fuel, full of oil. And then he came back in the same press conference and says, no, it wasn't 8, it was 10. 10 oil tankers full of fuel, which led us to believe that clearly it was not Iran doing this. It had to be the Pakistanis. So that being said, here it is right here. I have the document. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed. I'm going to let you read it because why listen to me shout all day? It has been fully agreed. Okay. Between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Wait, this isn't the original one, is it? No. That's from June of last year. I can't tell them apart. Guys, the pro peace ticket. Wajeeh, do you have the original document?
I have the one from this morning that he tweeted.
Okay.
I'm still looking for
Not this morning, the one from yesterday where he said 24 hour. Okay, let's look up the ceasefire agreement. This is like C-SPAN, by the way. And by the way, my mug today is from Washington Journal on C-SPAN, where I have been hosted. I've been on Washington Journal no less than 3 times. And if you know that show, that's where people just shout at you on the Democrats line, on the Republican line, and you get the Democrats try to have discussions. So ceasefire agreement, right? Oh, yeah. Jacob, you got anything to say about this? Oh,
Jacob
he's still
is
on that
not.
ferry. Watch it. Tell me what you think.
I think that the Trump administration has been looking for a way out since the decapitation, because that's all he wanted to do. Gulf nations are quite pissed off. Israel is quite pissed off because they don't see that Iran's capabilities have been demolished, like Pete Hegseth is saying. They actually believe. So the U.S. closest military allies, the ones that were involved in this war, the ones that know everything about what happened, they're telling us that we have not demoralized, or we have not taken out the capabilities of the Iranian military. And Pete Hegseth comes out to me and says, we have taken everything out. They don't get it.
Yeah. I have the 2 drafts of the document. Clearly, this was sent by Trump to the Pakistani Prime Minister, draft Pakistani PM's message on X. It was edited down a little bit, but it was cut and paste job from the White House. Diplomatic efforts for the peace settlement in the ongoing Middle East are progressing strongly and powerfully, with the potential to lead to substantive results in the near future. To allow diplomacy to run its course, I earnestly request President Trump to extend the deadline for 2 weeks. Pakistan, in all sincerity, requests the Iranian brothers to open the Strait of Hormuz for a corresponding period of 2 weeks as a goodwill gesture. We also urge all warring parties to observe a ceasefire everywhere for 2 weeks to allow diplomacy to achieve conclusive termination of the war. This was the initial document. The ending document was from Trump, where he agreed to this ceasefire. But the last person to agree to it was Iran. Iran was like, oh, okay, I guess we're having a ceasefire. Trump essentially negotiated with himself. Okay?
Is it the one based on a conversation with the prime minister
Yeah,
and the
that's the
field?
one.
Okay,
I
yeah, I
agreed to.
found it for you.
All right, read it to us.
Uh, and they requested that I halt off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran. This is not. This is not. This is crazy. I'm gonna just send it to you, man.
No, just read. Can you read it? Just read it. No one has to. We don't have to see everything. I just want his statement read.
Okay. Because it's very small. Let me make it
Okay.
bigger.
Let me see if we can find it.
Hold on. Destructive force being sent tonight to Iran on subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agree to the complete and immediate and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire.
Right. Okay. Now, Pakistan Prime Minister put it out first. Then Trump came back with an agreement, and we saw that agreement. Oh, am I still there? There we are.
Your
Sorry about that.
photo's not here.
Pakistan
We
Prime
can't
Minister
see it.
came out with it first. Yeah, Pakistan Prime Minister came out with it first. Trump came out with an agreement. We saw that they joint wrote these statements together. And then about an hour later, Iran came out with their statement. I'm going to read that, which Trump retweeted, right, in its entirety. On behalf of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I express gratitude and appreciation for my dear brothers, His Excellency Prime Minister of Pakistan Sharif and His Excellency Field Marshal Munir, head of the armed forces, for their tireless efforts to end the war in the region. In response to the brotherly request of Prime Minister Sharif in his tweet, and considering the request of the U.S. for negotiations based on its 15-point proposal, as well as announcement by the President of the United States about the acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal as a basis for negotiations. Underline that. I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Council, if attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations. For a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces and with due consideration of technical limitations.
Put the
Sayed
underlines
Abbas
under that.
Agrachi. Right. Okay. I'm going to show you guys right now what those technical limitations are. Looks like this, and it's
We
full of
can't
money.
see anything. We can't see anything.
You can't see anything? My camera's
No,
on?
yeah, your camera's off. I've been trying to tell you that for a second.
Oh, okay. My camera appears to be on. Let's
Guys,
go back.
I can actually
Yes.
see
Turn it off and back on.
I've just switched
Maybe.
off my camera.
Okay, your camera's off, but my camera should be on. Jacob, were
Here
you
you
seeing
go.
me?
Now we see it.
I can
Now
see
we
you,
see it.
Malcolm.
Okay, khalas. Okay,
Khalas.
this is what technical limitations look like. It's full of money. It's a portemonnaie, as they call it in French, right? So you have to coordinate with the IRGC, and bitches, you better be bringing money. Because that is how the de facto behavior of the Arabian Gulf is occurring this morning. Technically, the war is, quote unquote, over for the next 2 weeks if nothing occurs. But within minutes of this announcement because the Mosaic 31 operational area plan was still in effect. Ballistic missiles were still being launched from Iran towards Israel. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates all got hit within that first hour because, like at the end of World War I, it takes a little while for the message to get through. Technically, this morning, the war is in a 2-week ceasefire. But there are technicalities. This ceasefire is to be led to negotiations that start this Friday in Islamabad, Pakistan. And apparently, Mujtama al-Khamenei, the wounded supreme leader of Iran, has given his blessing to these negotiations. Malcolm, that sounds amazing. The United States beat them into submission. The Strait of Hormuz is opening. Well, not really. Let's go now. Let's go to a CNN report that came out that said the Trump administration agreed to the 10-point proposal Iran put in to its negotiations. Here are the 10 points that the Trump administration is allowing to be the basis of the framework for this war. It is: 1, Iran wants a guarantee that it will not be attacked again. 2, a permanent end to the war, not just the ceasefire. 3, Israel will stop its operations in Lebanon. And by the way, Netanyahu came out and made their statement that they agreed that Israel will also cease offensive operations against Iran, but is denying that they are stopping operations against Lebanon. 4, the United States must lift all sanctions on Iran. And in the original document, it said all sanctions. These are sanctions that go back to, are you ready? George Herbert Walker Bush, President George Herbert Walker Bush, back when I was in my early 20s, all sanctions that were put in place, I think they may even include some from Ronald Reagan, are to be lifted against Iran. Trump has agreed that this would be the basis of negotiations. Number 5, ending all regional fighting against Iranian allies. That's Hezbollah in Lebanon, Iraq, the Hashid Shaabi, and Yemen against the Houthis. Number 6, Iran would reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Number 7, Iran would impose a $2 million fee per ship transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Number 8, Iran would split these fees with Oman. Brother, I'm telling you, these guys know how to sell some camels because that is brilliant right there. Hold on.
I told you guys yesterday that Iranians will demand the control of the Hormuz Strait, and the United States has to accept it in order for a ceasefire to happen.
Yeah,
to appease their own people.
I think this part of them going, hey, we're going to split the fees with Oman. Oman goes, hey, wait, what? Okay, this is okay. I'm down. Oh, wow. we're suddenly turning the SOH into a toll booth for everybody. Cash money, baby. Cash money, baby. Everyone's getting paid on this one. Except everybody that fought against
there's
Iran.
a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Why? Because if they get Oman on the table to agree that, yeah, why not? Let's split this in half. It becomes more like an international legitimacy. But if Iran is keeping all the money to itself, all of a sudden the world, come on, man.
No, not all the money. You're right. That would look bad. But this is them knowing how to play in their neighborhood. These guys. These are the two camel salesmen that have been selling on the same street corner for decades, and suddenly a bunch of British guys wanting to buy camels, right, from both sides. They cut the deal for each other. Iran would establish rules for the safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. You know what that means? Safe from whom? from them. Right. Number 10, Iran would use all that money of Hormuz fees for the reconstruction of the country instead of reparations. I haven't quite figured out that part. That's like, hey, we're going to take all that money from you and we ain't paying none of you that we attacked. We're paying ourselves. Go fuck yourself. And Trump agreed that these would be the basis of all negotiations. Now, let's take a look at the 15-point plan that they allegedly started this with. 1, Iran would commit to not build nuclear weapons. Iran agreed to that on 27 February. And what's his name? Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner tricked them to keep negotiating right up to the minute we attacked and dropped bombs. Provisions paving the way for complete cessation of any aggression against Iran, possible withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from the region, and a ban on any attacks on Iran from regional bases. Limited daily passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz for 2 weeks, lifting of all primary, secondary, and UN sanctions against Iran, covering Iran's losses for the war by creating an investment and financial fund for the country, acceptance by the United States of Iran's right to enrich nuclear materials, and discussion on the level of enrichment. Permission for Iran to negotiate bilateral and multilateral peace treaties with regional countries. I love this one. This means Iran can go to Kuwait and Qatar and go, hey, yo, baby, kick America out. We'll have a peace treaty just with you. So in the next war, we're just kicking United Arab Emirates' ass, not yours. I mean, that is beautiful. Extension of the non-aggression policy towards all resistance groups in the region, and ratification of all these commitments through an official United Nations resolution.
Here's what
Jesus. These guys know, I just got to say this. We lost Jacob because he's on a ferry. These guys know their game, baby. They know their game. Don't tell me they don't know their game. Go on.
that if Trump thinks he knows the art of the deal, the Iranians have shown us a master class in diplomacy. They showed us a master class in asymmetric warfare. They showed us a
Yeah.
master class in economic warfare, and they actually now
True.
can successfully tell their people, "We have brought the strongest nation in the world to its knees." I think JCC nations are going to form their own type of NATO. They have already started looking for allies away from the United States. Europe
Mhm.
started doing the same thing. Before even this war, Macron announced that they are going to start making their own nuclear weapons, 1,000 nuclear bombs, and they're going to spread it around Europe because the United States is not doing the sufficient job of protecting its own allies. We
Yeah,
have
Finland
lost
and
the
Sweden said that
world.
too.
What are we
Look,
doing?
for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I put out a Substack this morning called Operation Epic Failure: How the United States Lost the First U.S.-Iran War. That's my assessment. I put it out in a tweet this morning. The United States has lost this war. We
Yes,
did a
they have.
great military operation. Bombs, guns, and fighter jet rides, double thumbs up. It was super awesome, fantastic, right? It's just the best. We're the best at blowing shit up, making loud, bangy noises. But wars are not about how much noise you make on the battlefield. They are an extension of your political will. And in this circumstance, we did not impose any will on Iran. I'm going to be straight up with you people, straight up, fam, as they say in the African American community. Iran has now come out stronger because they decapitated all of that ancient ass leadership. All right. They decapitated the ancient leadership. They got in now younger, stronger members, right?
And ones with
And
revenge. Ones that
revenge
want
on their minds,
revenge.
but smart ones. They're going to change their armed forces. They're going to change their armed forces to where they're not going to be this giant 1,000 fighter planes and all that bullshit. It's going to be kids with they're going to do like the Ukrainians, 1 million drones, right? Sorry, guys, for the guys complaining about the AV that's on here, this is Substack. This has nothing to do with us. We cannot control we're connected to the internet. Substack goes up and down. Jacob is on a ferry in the Denmark Straits. So he has got spotty Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi comes from 5G. And sometimes Substack kicks us out. So sorry, guys. So, but back to the story. The Iranians here are coming out of this stronger. They're actually coming out of it richer because how much they're going to make per year on the
More
Strait of
than
Hormuz
$100
now?
billion.
$160 billion per year. If every ship, 140 ships per day on average, go back and forth in the SOH, and you've got to now pay the easy pass or the multi-pass, as we call it, they are going to make $160 billion. They're going to split that with Oman. It will now be Oman and Iran's top economic moneymaker.
Absolutely.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. They literally are making bank off of this. And all those buildings you destroyed, all those military bases you destroyed, they get to rebuild that at your expense. You, the American taxpayer who are paying $4, almost $5 a gallon, you're paying to rebuild every destroyed building, brand new bridge in Iran. And you know they're going to make that shit bomb-proof next time, right?
Absolutely.
More stuff is going to be built into mountains, right? There won't be any bridges going across mountain passes. They're going to do like the Norwegians. They're going to go down into the earth and up the other side so that you cannot destroy their bridges anymore. I mean, this may actually be the second revival of the Islamic Revolution.
Yeah. And that's why
Go
that's
figure.
why the GCC is shitting their pants at the moment. Because
No, they can shit all day. They can shit all day, but it is time to start cutting deals, baby.
absolutely.
Which is why Iran wants those unilateral and multilateral peace deals. They're going to here's who they're going to pick off: Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar. And each one of those countries is going to have their own peace deal with them. Kuwait may be recalcitrant because there's so much U.S. manpower there. But Kuwait was badly damaged because of the presence of U.S. forces.
Well,
And at some
Qatar is
point, they're
already
going to have to
thinking
say,
about
hey,
evicting. Qatar is strongly evicting the United. So there has been a previous talk that if Qatar would evict the United States out of its own country, which is 1/4 of the whole country is a U.S. base. The largest military base in the Middle East is in Qatar. If Qatar would kick them out, they would bring in Turkey. Qatar would be an
that's a
amazing.
good ass. That's a good deal. I mean, it keeps it regional, keeps it Islamic. It's a strong country that's opposite Iran. Look, Iran has won the entire strategic game here. They are now the bully with the baseball bat that has proven everybody it's just better to pay me off and be my buddy.
Yeah.
Right? The cop that you bought, we kicked his ass. Danced on his police car, right? And you still got your ass beat. In Israel, what's Israel going to do for you? I'm going to tell you right now, United Arab Emirates will quietly cut relations with Israel. There will be no Abraham Accords now. There won't be. Because if there is, it would be making an alliance of the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. and you're just one suicide. All of these countries, I'm gonna say this once before. I'm gonna say it 100 times. All these leaders are one suicide bomber away from changing completely and abandoning all of their ties to Trump and Israel. There will be somebody within their own country that will not agree to this, that will say, you've betrayed the Muslim world, you betrayed Islam, and boom. Suddenly, MBS is not in charge anymore. So cutting deals like we're going to tie Saudi Arabia at the hip to Israel and the United States is not a good deal.
You know,
Jacob,
because MBS was trying to my inside information to the Saudi royal family. The MBS was trying on purpose to get on the Abraham Accord. But because of what happened, his dad pulled him back and his close circle to his father. So he's been pulled away from a lot of the decision making. His dad is a lot more conservative here than he is, and he's against the Israeli government. So there has been a change in the decision making in the hierarchy of Saudi Arabia. And then so MBS is waiting for a chance, and then there was an article in the last year telling the American news that he is afraid of his own people committing an assassination against him if he goes on to the Abraham
bro,
Accord. He's admitting that
if he
himself.
goes on to his Abraham Accords, he's going to have to hire a bunch of fucking, Australian, and like the Emiratis did, right? Hire Australian and British special forces, okay, to be his personal bodyguards, because he could get the full Indira Gandhi treatment. Indira Gandhi's bodyguards were Sikhs from Rajasthan. And she had just carried out, there had just been riots out there killing thousands of Sikhs. Her bodyguards fucking gunned her down with the weapons she gave them to protect her. First guy shot her, the next guy took out a submachine gun and drilled her with all the bullets. All of them. Okay? You can wake up dead someday based on what you do. And for people to project and say, Mohammed bin Salman will be around forever, it may be one of his relatives that does him in. And
Which will
suddenly,
happen to
they
King
could
Faisal.
that's what happened to Faisal. It could be, who was it who was the Minister of the Interior that had the suicide bomb attempt
Oh my
to kill
God,
him?
Bandar bin Sultan or Sultan bin
Bandar bin
Nayef?
Sultan bin Nayef. Sultan bin Nayef was the Saudi Minister of the Interior. And back when they were having the dirty war, if you guys want to see an actual good representation of what Saudi Arabia was like in their secret ISIS war, go watch the movie The Kingdom. Saudi Arabia was engaged in a secret war internally for 8 years, where Al-Qaeda of the Arabian Peninsula was running and gunning. And they got to one of the nephews of Sultan bin Naif, and that kid came in with a rectally inserted suicide bomb. Got in front of his uncle and
Mohammed
blew
bin Nayef.
up.
Prince
Right,
Mohammed bin Nayef.
Only his bodyguards recognized the things he was saying were jihadist, and the things that a jihadist would say just before they blew up, and they jumped on him, and the bodyguards were killed, but the prince was saved. That's how fast the Abraham Accords could end. So all of this stuff, I think there's going to be a complete re-engineering. Jacob, can you hear us? Can you talk? No, he can hear us,
No.
but he can't we
Click,
can't hear you.
turn on and off the mic. Click on the mic and mute it and unmute
Come back
it.
and go out.
Here you
There
go.
you are. We hear you.
That should be better.
Yeah, that way.
I agree fully, and this spells all sorts of trouble for the Gulf Arabs. I fully agree with that. It's they're in a bind. They know that Iran will keep and be more emboldened by what has happened, and they don't have the Americans to protect them anymore. The belief that that they get security from the U.S. bases will be gone. It'll be seen as a liability.
It's a missile magnet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, it's because
it's a missile magnet.
It is absolute missile magnet, absolute missile magnet, and the Saudis are openly talking about, especially the Qataris. So they're like, "Why do we have you here? We had an agreement that if you're here, you put us first." In fact, Trump signed an executive order making Qatar a more important ally, military ally
Than NATO.
than NATO.
Not
listen,
more
guys, real quick.
important, but a major non-NATO ally. That's the second ranking after
There's
NATO.
There's video of the Iranian negotiators returning after their successful negotiations right here. I don't know if you can see that.
Guys, I don't know if you saw it, but I put a little message down here while I was offline saying, the camel, the camel salesmen are better at art of the deal than a real estate agent from New York that has gone broke a number of times. So
that's right.
So these are the real art of the deal guys.
Well, good morning. What we have here is a video. If you can see it, the first two ships have departed the Strait of Hormuz. But observe, they are using the Iranian Revolutionary Guard multi-pass toll booth. Multi-pass. Yes. So ships are preparing. You can see there's a lot of movement down here, a lot of ships at anchorage. You see a lot of small craft coming back. Those are the chandlers bringing food. As those contracts get signed, chandlers will bring food, water, and materials to them, and they will get their sailing orders. And you will see a number of ships. Iraq says they will accept 20 to 30 ships per day, right? So they can get a taste of that money. And they're going to make sure your multi-pass is paid, right? So It's as simple as that. That is how the Strait of Hormuz is moving right now. There is a new Iranian Lego video mocking everyone, and I have to laugh at this because I shit you not, I am hiring explosive media. Dubai is not in ruins, by the way, guys. It's not. It's only a couple of places got hit, and the biggest hit was to the real estate market. People don't want to buy there. It'll take months for the Russians, who have made a lot of money, to come back. So, but what I find interesting is that the Iranians really know this place. They go from place to place showing things that are destroyed, reverting back to how it was before there was foreign money. Let's watch the video. Back to the Stone Age. Jebel Ali.
Yeah.
Ben Gurion, Oracle,
The
Emirates Aluminum, Dubai International, Ruiz, Ras Tanura, Ras Lafan, Subaya, Kuwait.
5G.
I love this part. Watch. An eggs on the solar panel. This, okay, stop. I gotta laugh at that, Ray. The Bahrain F1 is now camel races. And this funny, watch this, watch this, watch this. This is the Lusail Stadium in Qatar is now a camel and sheep herding farm.
Shit.
Iran's 10 ceasefire conditions accepted. That's and he didn't figure it out. It took him about an hour to figure out that's what he agreed to. I'm sorry, I'm hiring that guy. I don't care what business I'm in the future. They're very good at their propaganda. However, I just want to point something out to you. I think this video, most of it was done in anticipation that their power was being hit.
That's right.
Most of those places were hit, but they didn't black out those countries. I think they had this video on standby and they only added a little bit about ceasefire later. But I got to tell you, I love the Bahrain F1 is now camel race. They understand their culture of their opponent. I really. And by the way, if you have any of you ever been to camel races? I've been to camel races back when they had kids riding them in the early '80s, and then I've recently seen the ones where they have the little electronic riders whipping the camels down there. But it's not at the Bahrain Formula One racetrack yet. All of this being Jacob, what is going to happen here in the next week after negotiations? Do you think this is it? You think it's over?
Um, I will say it's a good sign that Trump appears to have realized that he gets nowhere by this escalation that he was contemplating. So that spells for that it will hold. The big question mark for me is Lebanon, where the Israelis have stated they see it as a different conflict. I am confident the Iranians don't. So what will happen there is the big question mark for me, because the Iranians won't let Hezbollah fight this out on their own and let Israel keep southern Lebanon occupied. Yeah, let's see about that. Let's see what Trump does to his former buddy Bibi. I think the Israelis are pissed off, to say the least. Yeah, everything can happen on that part of it.
Well,
Go for it.
one of the people that I found is the most upset about this is the true decision maker in the White House. Oh, you're still talking. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Go ahead.
the connection is a bit weak now.
I'm getting
So
some
just
lag
go ahead,
here.
Malcolm.
So. Yeah. Okay. I think the person who is the most upset about this is not Bibi Netanyahu. The person who is the most upset about this, based on what I'm seeing here in the White House, is the true decision maker in the White House, right? And that ain't JD Vance. Let's just be honest about that, right? The person who is the most upset is Laura Loomer, okay? And she, you know, what here is what she wrote today. Breaking. You guys take this for what it's worth. From crude sexual innuendo for at least 5 minutes. Okay. Breaking. You have to see it yourself. Breaking. Trump has sold out Israel to the terrorist mullahs of Tehran. The art of the deal was just the art of betrayal. Oh, sucker now. Laura Loomer, big mad, y'all. So now that the true decision maker in the White House has something to say about it, and Trump's access to, I don't know what to call that entity that is referred to as Laura Loomer. We shall see. Oh, wait. Grok is saying, carry on. Grok is saying that is not a real post by Loomer. However, Loomer did put out a post that I saw that was almost exactly the same. Let's see if I can find the real one. Sorry, well, that last one was for entertainment purposes only. Okay? And it was entertaining. I had one here in my notifications. No, not notifications, in my bookmarks. Well, anyway, and Laura Loomer's still mad because she was mad yesterday. Oh, the first thing she wrote is, it hasn't even been 2 hours and Iran already violated the ceasefire. Predictable. That was an actual one, which came after a comment that Trump had caved. So, guys, where are we going from here?
If I could say something, I think
Wajeeh.
this is they're going definitely this peace ceasefire. I don't think is going to go very well, especially that Iran now more than ever is committed to creating their nuclear bomb, and that's just a total no-no for Trump. The That's one of the biggest threats. The other big threat is that, which Jacob mentioned here a second earlier, is that Israel does not see the Iranian uh, uh, proxies as the same thing as part of the ceasefire, which Iran is saying, hold on, if you're going to have a ceasefire with me, you're going to have a ceasefire with all of my proxies. Because you claim they're an extension of me, and I'm gonna claim they're an extension of me. We're gonna be realistic about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, Wajeeh,
And
you're
last thing, GCC
yeah.
nations are wanting a seat on the table, and if Trump is not gonna give it to them, they're going to be very sour, which they already are. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just to let you know, okay, we're going to go to questions now because I have television and radio after this. And I know Jacob has to get on with his ferry ride. Okay, questions from Pam. How are we likely to see an impeachment now, and what can we do to encourage one? The talk yesterday, everyone using a nuclear weapon. That is an impeachable offense. He's crazy. He's mentally ill. And cheering on the U.S. Armed Forces this morning, I don't know if you saw the press conference. Okay, we dropped a shitload of bombs and we carried out an awesome rescue, but we lost $44 billion worth of money, and Iran is stronger and now controls the Strait of Hormuz and gets paid for it. I don't know. It's like turning over your bank account to your stripper girlfriend and thinking your wife is going to accept that. I don't get it.
That's a good.
Next,
That's a good one.
um,
Yep. Uh-oh.
the Capitol. Somebody said, Robert Bender asked, is Israel party to the ceasefire? Yes and no. I don't think there's any kind of speculation that the rescue, Zev Shalev. I'm just skipping over the ones that aren't related to this. Oh, Robert Bender also asked, in the multipass, will the United States be allowed to go through the strait safely? I suspect no. I suspect one key component of this will be that no U.S. warships will be allowed freedom of navigation into the SOH. The best part, yeah, you freedom to navigate, but your multipass is $5 million every time you want to come through. What do y'all think of that? Ooh, we got a lag on this thing.
Well, the Iranian government has already said that they want to see U.S. bases get out of the Middle East, and that would be one of the best ways to deter the U.S. government from keep coming to the Middle East. I could definitely see that true.
5 million for U.S. warships and cargo ships. That would be the way they're going to do it. All right. Let me move down. What exactly did Iran lose? Few nights sleep. It did lose on military bases, but right now, someone asked me this on a forum yesterday. Who's going to make the most money in Iran? Other than the oil company, it's going to be those companies that take up broken concrete and grind it back down and make new concrete and rehabilitate rebar. They're going to be building like crazy, and the United States is going to give them every dollar to do it with. What do you guys think?
Yeah, agree. Agree. If you can hear me, for sure. They
I hear you.
they're going to make the most of this, and they've lost a lot of tactical stuff and some of the conventional capabilities in their regular forces. That's not what means something to Iran. On the contrary, they improved a higher level of capability on missiles, on drones, etc., than anyone had anticipated, and that's what they can use, to exert pressure in the neighborhood, and because essentially America has such a weak hand. And now they control the strait, and they're going to use that to maximum effect.
I agree. I agree. I also think that the Iranians have showed us the state of the art
All
when
right.
it
Well,
comes
that's the
to
end of the
negotiation.
questions. Although a comment was made that Israel is striking Beirut, struck Beirut in the last hour. So
I think there's a there's a latency
there's a
between
lag.
me and you. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, go on.
But the idea is that the uh, the idea here is that the Iranians were very genius. How can they make you pay for their reputation for their rebuilding without making Trump look like he's taking money directly from your taxpayer and sending it directly? So their idea was like, okay, so every chip that comes in, they're gonna pay, and that's how they're gonna pay for rebuilding Iran. But guess where that's going to come off? That's going to come off your pocket money.
Well,
That is adding to
I know we
every
all are
product that
having
you buy.
Wi-Fi problems today, but I want to thank Good. All right. Thanks. We're going to stop there for today. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe and share, or consider becoming a paid subscriber on Substack. $7 a month for most of us. You get all of this great analysis. We'll be doing this morning briefing just to discuss this until the war is officially over. And then we're probably in circumstances happening here, including the threat to Greenland may come back. That'll make Jacob happy. It's amazing. So, to Substack subscribers, I'm happy to have you here. Please consider upgrading to a paid membership. I am at 97,100 followers. I'm trying to get up to 100,000. So if you're following, if you're not, touch that little rondelle up top. The subscriber buttons will pop up. Press subscribe to Wajeeh Lion. Press subscribe to Jacob Kaarsbo. Follow me on there. And to enjoy the full membership experience, to be able to chat, communicate, I answer questions. Become a paid subscriber. Wajeeh, you have something to say? I saw your finger up.
No, I'm just telling them where to to click.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for coming. Jacob, enjoy your boat ride. Have a nice smorgasbord for us. Wajeeh, I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have better Wi-Fi. Take care.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.